Stop sharing your Apple ID with your family. Seriously, stop doing it right now. For the last 10 years, Apple has forced us into a terrible, messy habit that we have all just accepted as normal. But it is actually destroying your digital experience and your privacy. Think about it for a second. Every single time a guest comes over to your house, or your kids want to watch a movie on a Saturday morning, or you have a house sitter staying for the weekend, what do? We have been handing over full access to our primary, personal Apple account just so they can use the TV. We unlock the gate to our entire digital lives just so someone can watch a cartoon. It is messy, it is disorganized, and quite frankly, it is a total privacy nightmare that we have ignored for way too long. You would never in a million years unlock your iPhone, hand it to a stranger, and say, "Here, go through all my stuff." So why on earth do we do it with our Apple TV? We do it because we haven't had a choice until now. The massive news today is that with the quiet release of tvOS 26.2, you never have to make that mistake again. Apple has silently rolled out a feature that completely kills the need for shared passwords in a living room once and for all. It is called local profiling, and it is hands down the biggest, most fundamental change to the Apple TV operating system in a decade. I am going to show you exactly how to set up what I call ghost profiles to lock down your data, save your sanity, and keep your entertainment experience 100% yours. Let's get real about why this update is actually groundbreaking. On the surface, it sounds boring. But in practice, it changes everything. Until this very moment, the Apple TV operated on a very specific and annoying assumption. It assumed that everyone in your house was fully integrated into the Apple ecosystem. It wanted everyone to have an iPhone in their pocket, an active iCloud email address, and their own password memorized. But we all know that is simply not how the real world works. Sometimes you have a niece visiting for the summer who doesn't have a phone yet. Sometimes you have friends coming over for a movie night who use Android devices. In the past, you were completely stuck. You had to let them use your profile. This meant they were cluttering up your up next list with their random choices. You watch a gritty sci-fi thriller, and suddenly your recommendations are filled with toddler shows because you let a kid use your remote for 20 minutes. tvOS 26.2 finally introduces the concept of a unit-specific profile. You need to think of this like a guest user on a traditional computer, but optimized for your living room. This profile exists only on that specific black box sitting under your television. It does not sync to the cloud. It does not touch your credit card information. It does not link to your emails. And most importantly, it acts as a rigid firewall between your personal watch history and their viewing habits. This is the feature that finally separates your digital identity from the physical device. Setting it up is incredibly fast. You can set up this ghost profile in under a minute to start protecting your data immediately. You just grab your remote, navigate to the settings icon, and hit Users and Accounts. This is where the magic happens. Instead of that old, incredibly annoying process where you had to type in a new email address and wait for a verification code, you simply select the new option that says Create Local Profile. The system will ask you for a name. I strongly recommend naming it something incredibly obvious like guest or kids. Then you pick an avatar. Apple has refreshed the list with new high-contrast, fun icons. My advice is to always pick the most colorful neon option available. You want to do this so that even from across the room, you can instantly see if the TV is logged into your personal account or the guest account. This visual cue is your first line of defense against a ruined algorithm. The most powerful part of this update is actually hidden in the restrictions menu. This is an absolute game-changer for parents or anyone living with younger siblings. When you create this local profile, the system will ask a simple question: is this a kid? If you toggle that switch to yes, you get immediate control over exactly what that profile can see. You can set it to only allow tvOS 7 content or block mature movies entirely. You can stop them from making purchases. Because this is a local profile, these rules apply only to this specific user on this specific box. You do not have to water down your own experience anymore. You can keep your personal profile set to anything goes with full access to R-rated movies, while the kids' profile is strictly locked down. It is the perfect way to baby-proof your TV without navigating through 10 different screen time menus on your iPhone. The user experience is where this feature goes from useful to magical. When you switch to a new local profile, the transition is seamless. When you open the Apple TV app on a new profile, it is a blank canvas. There is no continue watching row trying to get you to finish a movie you started 3 years ago. There are no weird suggestions. It is just a raw content library. This means your guest can binge a 40-hour drama series and it will never show up on your phone or your iPad. It keeps your digital life compartmentalized. Your data stays clean and your recommendations stay accurate. It effectively turns one physical Apple TV into 3 separate devices for free. Now, for a quick reality check. This feature is incredible, but it has one limitation you must understand. This ghost profile works perfectly for the Apple TV system and the native Apple TV app. However, it does not currently force third-party apps like Disney Plus or Netflix to automatically switch accounts. If you switch the system to the guest user, they are technically still looking at your Netflix profile unless you manually log out of that specific app. Ideally, Apple will fix this in the future, but for now, think of this as a way to protect your Apple ecosystem data and your privacy settings. The final reason to use this is digital hygiene. We all have guests who stay for a week and then leave. In the old days, that account would sit there forever because deleting it was a hassle. Now, deleting a local profile is as satisfying as throwing away trash. You just go to Settings and hit Delete. It is gone instantly with no trace left behind. It gives you the flexibility to grant access for a day and then revoke it without thinking twice. In my opinion, this is the most underrated update Apple has released in years. It solves a real-world problem that has bothered users for a decade. If you own an Apple TV 4K, you are doing yourself a massive disservice if you don't set this up today. It is the single best way to protect your privacy and keep your recommendation algorithm smart. Take control of your device, go into Settings, and lock down your living room. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your family group chat, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next big update. Stay secure.